I filmed some videos earlier when I was driving, but the quality was bad, so I guess I just until I get the other. Alright. Until I get the other my other phone charged, and I can film on that one. But I'm gonna talk to y'all about how not to rush getting a truck when you're starting, and how it cost me $10,000, or how I lost $10,000 getting my first truck. So basically, I rent my what is this random dog just came out of nowhere. A little pipsqueak. I'm at the truck stop at the Loves. I don't even know, I'm somewhere in, I think, Tennessee still. But I rented a truck from Budget. I mean, I got another Budget truck, but my very first truck had so many issues. I had check engine light came on twice. A tire that was they said it, it was what do you call it? Not they said it was completely, deflated. What else happened? Windshield wipers were trash. Almost flew off when I was driving on the freeway. My back door, my sliding door in the back, had like a 2-inch gap, so it rained and water was getting in. Luckily, I didn't have no loads in there, but that could have been bad. What else happened? Oh, my AC wasn't working. The coolant was hella low. What else? I'm trying to think. I think there was something else that I had to get called out for, but anyway, so I had to call roadside. Oh, and then on day before yesterday, no, it was like 2 or 3 days ago. Tuesday, I believe. What do you call it? I go to pick up a load. Luckily, the load, I say luckily because if I was loaded, it would have been worse. But luckily, the load, I couldn't pick it up because the people that I guess was supposed to be, or were supposed to get delivered to like a Shamrock's Foods, they didn't pay their fees to the FedEx where I was picking it up from. And so they told me they didn't have anything for me, or that they didn't know I was coming, and they didn't have the authorization form, so I couldn't pick up that load. So luckily that happened where I couldn't pick it up, and then not luckily that my truck wouldn't start, but that was the final straw for Budget, I guess. After calling for issue after issue after issue, they finally was like, all right, we're gonna tow your truck. We already got authorization to get you a new truck. I said, cool. I'm gonna show you all the video of that truck. That truck it should not have been on the road. The graffiti on the side, male genitals drawn on the side. The lady that I rented the truck from, I asked her if she could paint over that, just so that way it don't look super unprofessional. She supposedly painted over it. Y'all see in the video, she supposedly fixed it. She made it look worse. I fixed it, which I'll show you all that picture too. But anyways, so final straw was them having to tow the truck because it wouldn't start. But all my equipment was still in it. And the reason I say that cost me $10,000 was because I booked that truck for 3 weeks out. I flew out to California to get it. And I booked it for 3 weeks, and today is now the 31st. The 3rd would be my end of my my 3-week contract, and so sorry, I'm at the truck stop. I'm trying to make sure I'm not in nobody's way. But the 3rd would be the end of my contract. Well, the first contract. I mean, I could extend, and so I had got it for 3 weeks, and I couldn't. Basically, for 2 weeks, I couldn't use that truck. I did one run from Arizona to Northern California, and that's when the second time the check engine light came on, and then somebody had to come out. I called somebody that day after I dropped that load off. Y'all know we in the trucking business. We can't just readily go to the bathroom. We can't just park our truck anywhere to grab something to eat. We gotta, kind of be meticulous on where we park our truck because you could get towed, you could get a boot, you can get a ticket, you know, all that stuff costs money. So anyways, I left from where I was when I called roadside because I was sitting there for like 4 hours already after I had already driven all the way from Southern California to Northern California, which was like a 6-hour drive. I was sitting there for like 4 hours and nobody showed up, nobody called me. I called roadside back. They said they had they were trying to get a hold of the roadside or the person that was coming out, and so they never called me back. Anyway, so I left to use the bathroom and grab something to eat because I was starving. And the guy calls me. He's like, "Hey, like I'm here, like you know, I don't see your truck." And the funny thing was, I was sitting in a budget truck, you know, rental parking lot, but they didn't service 26 footers because when I pulled in, the guy comes out and he's like, "Oh, you know, can I help you?" And I'm like, "Actually, you know, I wonder if you guys could look at my truck. The check engine light's on." He's like, "We don't even service 26 footers here." He's like, "That's why I came out here because I didn't even recognize the truck." So he's like, "Can you just pull it forward, blah, 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 you know, whatever." So I was like, "Okay." So anyways, I left and the guy calls me and he's like, "Hey, I already been sitting here 10 minutes. I was like, "I'm right around the corner. I'll be right back. I just came, you know, grab something to eat, use the bathroom." I was like, "I'll be right back." He's like, "No, I can't wait. I already been sitting here 10 minutes. I got, you know, other calls." He's like, I gotta close this thing out and come back." So I was like, man, so I was supposed to have a load going from Northern California back to Southern California, and this was like in the span of it almost being Christmas. So like y'all know, right before, like, you know, the holidays, I feel like everything kind of slowed down. Not everything slowed down, but like right before, like the 24th, 23rd, like if you're looking at the load boards, at least on my end when I was looking at the load board, you know, the loads didn't kind of really seem like what they were before, but I think that's because people were out of the office, you know, brokers weren't really working because of the holiday, because of Christmas. So anyway, so I was looking at the load board. I was like, okay, this is gonna be perfect. I'm gonna get my load from Northern California to Southern California. I'm gonna stay at my sister's house, grab a load going from, you know, where she lives in Southern California back to Arizona home for Christmas. I was like, cool, it's gonna work out. So anyways, roadside guy couldn't get to me that day. And then I had to get a hotel because I was like, man, you know, I came out here thinking I was gonna shoot right back because I still had time on my ELD to shoot back, and it didn't work out like that. Anyways, so I get a hotel. They say, "Oh, someone's coming." I was like, "Cool, somebody's gonna come tonight. I can still probably pick up that load in the morning. I just gotta, you know, hustle back like for as soon as I wake up." So I waited. Nobody showed up, right? So I'm like, man, what the heck? So I kept falling asleep, popping up. My wife is texting me. She's like, "Hey, did you miss the call? Like, I don't want you to miss it." You know, I'm like, "I didn't miss it. I don't have no calls, whatever." So the whole night goes by. I'm like, man. So then I call him back in the morning. And then when he finally gets there, it was the same guy that's supposed to come out the day before that came to me where I was at the hotel. And he's like, "I live like a half a mile up the road." Go figure. Anyways, he tells me, "Oh, the company I work for didn't want me on overtime, so I couldn't service your ticket, blah, 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 blah." I was like, I wish somebody would have told me that at like 6 o'clock so I wouldn't, you know, sitting around, you know, popping back up. I could have got some good sleep or whatever. I didn't tell him that, but, you know, I didn't want to be rude because it ain't his fault. He's just a third-party vendor working for budget. But anyways, so so he tells me, "Oh, you can go, you know, go stay in your room. I'm gonna look at the truck. I'll call you with an update, let you know how everything's gonna go, or you know, what's gonna happen." So I go back to my room and calls me. He's like, "Hey, the truck has to be regened. That has something to do with the exhaust system." I have no idea, but the first guy that came out for the check engine light, the same check engine light with a little upside down triangle came on, and that was supposedly the issue the first time. So I was like, the first guy already did that. Like, he said it was all good, it was off, and then it popped back on. He's like, "I don't know, like, you know, sometimes these trucks, they go in for service and people say they, you know, they do stuff right." And then he, you know, he sees the truck and he's like, "It don't look like that truck came, you know, went through service." And I was like, the lady told me, she was like, "This truck just came out of service, everything is good." I was like, this truck did not just come out of service. Both tires, outer tires, were like almost bald. Even the guy that was working at her place like looked out the window and he's like, "Yeah, those tires don't look good." So what they did is they swapped the tires on another truck they had, which is originally supposed to be the truck that I was supposed to get, which was a 2020 International, which the truck I showed you guys in the video was a 2015 with all like the graffiti on the side and whatnot. And when I pulled up, I had a bad feeling, and I was like, oh, please don't let that be the truck they're gonna give me. Sure enough, it was the truck. That was the truck they gave me. I was supposed to get the 2020. I told her like almost a week before I even went out to California to get it that I was flying out from Arizona. She's like, the truck's not going nowhere. I'm not gonna let it go nowhere. And it's gonna be here for you, when you come. I was like, cool. I was like, I want to make sure because I'm flying. I'm buying my ticket, and I want to be able to make sure I have a truck because I've heard stories of people flying out or driving out or whatever to go get a truck and it ain't there. So I had to make sure. So I made sure that it was gonna be there. But when I got there, the 2020 was behind their gate with the hood open. I was like, crap. She goes, oh, the starter went out. I'm like, y'all had a week before I got here, from when I talked to you until I got here, basically a week, to replace that starter. Like, I mean, y'all had a whole shop going on back there. Y'all could have replaced the starter. So anyways, so they didn't replace the starter on that one. They ended up giving me the 2015 that, I had all the crap messed up on it. And yeah, like I said, that easily cost me $10,000, if not more, in gas. The gas I had to use to get down there and then deadhead back all the way to Arizona from Northern California, not even just to Southern California. I had to deadhead all the way back. So the money that I made really was just fuel money, like at the end of the day. And then on top of that, like not being able to get, loads because the truck, every other day I was calling. Like I have like so many reference numbers. I was calling. And, so long story short, well, that was a long story, but anyways, I just don't want you guys to kind of make the same mistake I made because I get it. I mean, I was in the same position. I wanted a truck bad. There's a scarcity of trucks. There's a shortage of trucks. Like, we put all this money up front to, to start our business. And the last piece is to get a truck because you got to pay for your insurance for your authority to fully go active. And then you got to, find a truck, which is kind of backwards to me. It's like, I feel like once you get the truck, they should let your authority go active, the day that you find you a truck, because it's like, I don't know. That's another thing. Like, they say that there's a 21-day vetting period, which there is, but you don't have to, which I kind of messed up too. You don't have to get your insurance by the 21st day. You technically have 90 days, right? So you technically have 90 days. The 21 days, I think, is just for them to vet you, to go through all the pre-checks and everything, make sure your background's all good. I think that's pretty much what that is for. Because what happened was my 21 days, I counted them as rolling calendar days, but they're not rolling calendar, or they're not rolling, sorry, I counted them as rolling business days. So I was counting like Monday to Friday, not the weekend. But I guess they count the weekend as well, because when I went in, or when I like messaged one of the people, the reps on the FMCSA website, I said, hey, just want to check, see when my authority is going to go active so I can have my insurance, timed correctly. They were like, oh, it's actually today. And I was like, huh? But I counted the days wrong. So when you fill out all your paperwork, go on the FMCSA website, click like contact us, and then there's like a live chat in the bottom right corner. Click the live chat. It takes a couple seconds. Just ask them, hey, I just want to verify my authority date, my 21 day, just so that way I can have everything kind of squared away before that. But like I said, you don't have to have your insurance by the 21st day, because what happened was my 21 days was up, and I had already I had already got the truck, and I think I already had the insurance too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I already had the insurance, but it wasn't in time to go active I wasn't, active on the 21st day. Something was off, I think, where I got the insurance, but it was not like the 3 to 5 days kind of like period. So anyways, I had to wait like almost like 48 hours for me to be able to book my load. I think my authority technically went active on like Wednesday, but I couldn't book my first load until that Friday, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because I remember I booked the load on Friday, because I picked it up, I took it to my house in Arizona. I set the truck at, across the street from my house, and then I left on that Saturday to go to my sister's because I was trying to get a load. No, I left that Sunday. I left that Sunday because I was trying to get a load from like LA to Northern California to combine it with that. That's another thing. I was in such a rush, like, you know, to get my first load. I forgot my straps, forgot my load bar, forgot my book, my DOT book in the car. You know, so don't be that guy, because that could have cost me too. Because I could have got pulled over, got a huge fine. You know, they wouldn't care that it, you know, it's my first time or whatever. They don't know. So I could just make it up, you know, a lie. They don't care. But anyways, so that's another thing. So just make sure you got all your ducks in a row. Like I would say, find you a truck, a good truck, then get your insurance, because you can have the insurance from the rental place, and that way you don't got to pay, you know, your insurance and not have a truck. On top of that, it only took them like I said, like 48 hours for my authority to go fully active once I finally said, okay, here's all my documentation for my insurance and everything. So yeah, just don't rush, you know, be patient, especially if you're buying a truck. That's the biggest thing. If you're buying a truck and you rush, like all those breakdowns really could have cost me more than $10,000, because if you figure tire replacement, guy got to come out to pay to change the tire, that's buku money. 2 times they had to come out to regen the system. I'm sure they probably charged like $100 an hour just to come out, not counting, you know, the fee to actually do it. So that's their labor cost probably, I'm pretty sure, because it's commercial. It's, you know, not cheap. Windshield wipers, I mean, we can get those from a truck stop or something. You know, I could have did it myself, but it's like, hey, it's free because it's budget truck. So, but I'm saying, like, if you were to buy your truck outright, or if you know, if you had to replace that yourself, that's money. Them coming out to do the coolant, I could have done the coolant myself, but you know, that's a different story. Me smelling the exhaust fumes, I think that just had to do with the coolant level being low, as well with the AC not working, and the what do you call it? The exhaust freaking canister sits right up underneath the, you know, the cab of the truck right here, so that gets super hot. So that was probably just coming through, along with all the windows being up because it was raining. So anyways, they had to come out and check that. So I'm sure if they would have came out, checked your truck, they wouldn't have found anything. Like, oh, it's fine. You know, you had to pay for that. When it broke down, had to get a tow, $175 an hour. Not counting the storage fees if you would have had to store it somewhere, because where I had parked my truck, there was no way they would have been able to get that truck into that spot off the tow truck. The tow truck was the biggest tow truck I've ever seen. I'll put a video as well up for that. But that was one of the biggest tow trucks I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I've seen them on the freeway, but like in person, those things are massive. They look like Optimus Prime. It was crazy. But so the storage fees on that, right? So you got to figure, okay, if you can't get your truck into the parking spot that you normally park your truck, you got to put it somewhere. So, and there was no shops open. I'm pretty sure there was no shops open, and if there was, I'm pretty sure they're gonna charge you an arm and a leg too to store your truck and to look at it. That's another thing. If, like, let's say I was, you know, here like how I am now, in Tennessee. I think I'm in Tennessee. I don't know where I'm at, but if I was out here and my truck went down, I'd have to get a hotel. They're not gonna pay for my hotel. You know what I mean? As far as like the person you got the load from, all they care about is their load getting from point A to point B. They're not gonna care about your truck going down, you know, whatever. They just want their stuff going from point A to point B. So nobody's gonna pay for that. So that costs money. So, you know, all this stuff just costs money. So just be mindful when you guys are kind of out there shopping around for trucks. Don't just jump into the first thing that you find. I'm not an expert on trucks, so I'm not even gonna give my opinion. Even though I've driven trucks in the past for, you know, private companies and for the military, I'm still not an expert on trucks. Like, and I was in a transportation unit for 6 years. But those trucks are different. You know what I mean? Like, those are specifically tailored to the military. I've never dealt with a DEF system before, and I still don't really understand how that works. But it's like I don't know. I really don't understand it. I'd have to like Google it. But anyways, But if you're not familiar with trucks, I would say find somebody that is. So a reputable mechanic, a mobile mechanic that you can take with you to go look at your truck before you get it. Make sure he's trustworthy, or she, you know, could be there's some female mechanics out there. Shout out to the ladies too. I be seeing a lot of ladies out here driving trucks, and that's, you know, that's crazy. Because well, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still hard work. Because I was gonna say, well, for like these semis, they don't really gotta touch their freight all too much, but you know, still, like, shout out to the ladies too that be driving the box trucks, because like, especially if you're a solo lady driving a box truck, because sometimes you gotta you know, touch your freight and you pulling pallet jack and whatnot, and some of y'all out here looking spoiler than me. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, so hats off to the ladies holding it down out here on the road too. But yeah, so like I said, just be mindful when you get in your truck. Don't rush, because this is your business at the end of the day. I know a lot of people talk about like, oh, renting, owning, leasing. Honestly, I'll probably make a separate video on that, just because, I don't know, there's a lot of I feel like misconception when it comes to that. Like, I've probably watched every box truck video under the sun, as far as like that's on YouTube at least, because I wanted to have, you know, good information coming into this. I didn't want to just jump into this and kind of, you know, not know anything, which I feel like some people do, because I'm in some Facebook groups and they'll ask a question and I'm like, but I mean, hey, maybe they probably watched the video and just didn't understand it and they just need clarification. I don't know. I'm not going to judge, but I would say YouTube. If it's not my channel, you know, I watch Big Vic TV, the Box Truck Couple, Trucking Out the Box, the Truck Whisperer, Demetrius B. I think his name is like Dub J World or Bub J World, something like that. Trucking and J's. Who else? I mean, pretty much every video, Trucking and Investing, every box truck channel, even Hot Shotting, Chris TV, Antro Mike. Those two are funny. Chris TV, his was the first content I think I came across. He has some good content. I don't know if he's still in the game. I know he got a hot shot, but I haven't seen no videos from him in a while, so I don't know. But anyways, you know, this is your company, so be mindful of that when you're out here, you know, getting ready to purchase your truck, especially if you purchase it. Be mindful, especially if it's not new, which I don't recommend anybody buying new unless you like got money like that. And if you got money like that, I mean, I don't know why you're driving a box truck. I mean, instead of being kind of just an owner, not an operator. But hey, some people might just enjoy driving. I don't know. But if I had the amount of money that they asking for these new trucks, I ain't driving it. But anyways, so just be mindful. This is your company. You know, you can't make no money if you're stranded on the side of the road. You can't make no money if your truck constantly breaking down and you got to have it in the shop. You can't make no money, you know, if in the first couple months, you know, something's going on with your truck and you can't get no loads, but yet you shoveling out money not only for your truck, for your insurance, you know, to get your truck fixed. You got to pay for load boards. You know, there's just little fees here and there. So, you know, take heed. Take what you want from the video though, because that's what I did when I watched certain videos, or you know, a lot of those videos I was watching. I took what I wanted, because there was some good information and there was some information I was just like, whatever. Or I even heard it again and it's like, okay, now I heard that again. Like, that's probably something that's important to recognize, or to understand, I should say. So just your boy J-Rob did it. I'm on the road heading to Virginia. I should be there in about like 10 hours, 9-10 hours or something like that. It's been a long trip. This is probably the longest I've ever driven anywhere, personally, myself. And especially in a box truck. This was a learning experience. We got flies, the first time I've seen a fly. But anyways, it's your boy J-Rob did it. Signing out. Until the next video.